Hello, welcome to Clear Blue Skybox. I'm Clear Blue Skies, and this is vlog number 6. This week is, or today, is the 2nd of April. The 2nd of April, Monday the 2nd of April. It's a bank holiday in England, and I'm late for the first time ever. It's already 10:50 when I'm recording this vlog, and I'm supposed to post it at 9 o'clock today. So that's because Easter happened. I was at my wife's family. It happens, so I didn't want to spend a bunch of time in the night recording this, but that does mean you get this beautiful lighting from the actual sun. Hooray! So this week is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to run through my usual list thingy on Trello, and I will go through the week as normal. I'm going to go through a little bit of what we're going to do next week, but what am I trying to say? Yes, but the focus of this vlog is going to be on a review of what I did in the last month. My list of done things is getting really long on Trello, which is really good, but it also means that it clutters up the screen a little bit, and it's good to take a step back and look at what you've done over a month or 2 months or however long. As I was saying in the last video, I'm losing track of what I've done, the impact of what it is I'm trying to do. So taking a review is really good for that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do that, and I did do that. So I'll go through that with you. So let's take a quick look at, yes, let me get that up on my screen. And my face. You need my face. Where my face? There it is. At the projects, right? So this week was the first week that me and Andres went back into the Figment Arc game stuff. So these 3 are all tickets. Yeah, did actual code on the game stuff, and a code review there as well. So that was good. I'm really glad to be getting back into that. Getting going again, and it feels real nice to make progress. All it is at the moment in this milestone is bug fixing and refactoring, so I don't have much to show you. We kind of wanted to get it to a point where it was more aesthetically pleasing using our own assets before we get to showing people, but I think that's probably we'll end that soon. We'll just show people what we have when we have it. So that might come soonish, but I'm happy with the progress I made. One thing that did come up for me is that's four tickets or four items on my list. So that took up a reasonable amount of time out of my week. Not a huge amount, but a reasonable amount. And that is my focus. So I might have to back off on some other things. You'll see we didn't get through everything this week, but it wasn't a bad week. The drawing, and so I had an art section which was doing some drawing and some rigging. The drawing, I won't bother to get them down. They're posted on my board behind me. I did a shed from reference. Got to not turn away from the microphone as I talk. And I just immediately did that. I did this life drawing, some speed life drawing. So you get this. There's a site called Quick Poses where you get a minute to or however long you can choose the intervals to draw from an image of someone, draw the poses, then the image switches and you have to move on to the next one. So you have to learn to draw the expression as fast as possible. And it's in all kinds of different perspectives that are really challenging. So I found that really difficult, but I feel like I practiced something good. So it's like 20 of those poses. So 20 poses and one big shed from reference for my pictures. So that went pretty well. I did do the rigging part of the tutorial I was doing for Blender. That was originally rig and texture model, but that was actually turned out to be too much. So I'll just show you what the rigging I did was. This is all following a tutorial, but it's really interesting. So this uses an IK inverse kinematics for the bones, the skeleton is bleh. We produced for God's sakes, I produced a skeleton from the video, linked it to the different parts of the model, then gave the skeleton inverse kinematic constraints, and now you can do this where you pick up one bone and the rest follows. Yeah, cool, right? Yeah, I think that's awesome. So it doesn't look like much, it didn't take that long, but I'm glad I did it. I got through that, and it means that I will be able to continue to the rest of the tutorial and eventually work on animating my own things. So that will be very good. Let's move a little. Where's my hotkeys? Wrong hotkey. There we go. Oh God, what did I? Every time. This happens every single episode. My fat fingers. Alright. And I read some pages of the Game Engine Architecture book to finish that off. That was good. Lots of vertex and matrices mathematics. We're doing the vlog now, although late. The game composition course. Alright, so hear me out. I'll just go real fast actually. I'm not going to turn this into a story. I didn't do this, and the reason I didn't do this is because I really love the Pokemon soundtrack. I chose to do a song from Pokemon, the Versus Champion theme from Pokemon Blue, to analyze. Then I was listening to it and I was like, oh, I'll just listen to the whole soundtrack. So I listened to the whole soundtrack like 8 times over to try and choose, to see whether I really wanted to choose that song. In the end I chose Viridian Forest, which is very cool. The Pokemon soundtrack is really interesting. It uses the constraints of the Game Boy in a really interesting way. So yeah, it took me all week to choose a track to analyze it. So I didn't make any progress, but I really enjoyed the work. So I'm calling that a win still. I'll push this back to next week, and hopefully this week I'll get through it because I've chosen an actual track. That's the end of that one. The programming tasks, as usual, I ran into OpenGL problems. So this time, using OpenGL 1, the problem was trying to get textures, load textures in, using the soil library, SOIL. It's just a library for pulling various image formats into OpenGL textures, and it took ages to work out how to use it, or how to link it properly. And then, because you need to link a bunch of standard C libraries because it's in C when you're using C++, and it took ages. Then when I run it, it crashes every time. I don't know why that is yet. I will figure it out. I did, however, do a refactoring of my code from the first few tutorials into something that is object-based, and that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I can do some cool animations which weren't in the tutorial, or animations. I can move the objects in the screen by position, which was fun to do. And I didn't get my cracking the coding interview thing again. It happens. The week was. I'm getting a bit blasé about the things that I'm missing out. The week was pretty solid. I did have to do some overtime on Thursday. I went out on Wednesday and Friday. Friday was a bank holiday in Britain, so I did have more time, but I did some chores and stuff. I think that's basically it for the week. So it wasn't a disaster. It wasn't 100% like the first few weeks were, and that's fine. I think it's going to be like that. You're going to hit snags but I got through the things I wanted to get through mostly, which was the game stuff with Andres. I did do the rigging, and I was really happy with the drawing that I did. And I did a review. So I'll go through the review, then we'll go through what is for next week because of the review. So let me come back to looking at my face mode with that sunlight. Can do directions. It's because I'm staring at the camera and it does the opposite of what I'm doing. So, I spent some time yesterday thinking about the last month. Actually, hang on a second. Here are all the things that I've completed since I started logging things on Trello, which was about a week or two before I started doing the vlogs. Maybe a week. No, probably 2 weeks. Here's all the things. I'm really happy with all the things that I've done in the last month. And I was going back through it and just totaling up all that stuff. If I just add these things in as well. And it comes to quite a lot of things in about 2 months. So and I was feeling like I was behind. Like, I had that bad week last week. I was feeling like I was behind. But really, I've done a lot to be happy with. Stuff that I just wouldn't have done if I hadn't started doing it like this, with the vlogging and the Trello, the weekly goals. It's good to take a step back and look at what you've actually achieved over time. So, I never checked my mic source. Oh, good. Whew. Just had a fear that you were hearing me through my rubbish laptop microphone, but no, you're hearing me through my nice Snowball, which I've kept out of view this time. So, yeah, just a few things that I've done. Like, I've drawn over 20 pictures since I started doing the weekly thing, which is really cool. I haven't practiced drawing that much for a long time. I've released two songs, one of which got retweeted by the artist who inspired the track. That's so cool. I've learned C#. I've started doing low poly modeling. I've done some animation stuff a little bit. Finally started doing OpenGL. I've done more than 20 programming tasks. Oh, and I started to learn to play piano, which isn't even on here. I'm really pleased with all the stuff that I've done. So I shouldn't. It's that thing where I don't feel like I'm doing enough stuff. Almost ever. Like it always feels like I'm behind the rest of the world when I'm doing everything. But I need to take a step back and enjoy the progress I've made. It'll be nice in a few months if I can compare what I've got, like at the start of these videos, like a model or some programming, and then compare it to what I've got in a few months and see like real progression in terms of skill. That'll be amazing. But just in terms of doing stuff, it's been really, really successful. So, I've got to be happy with that. The worries that I have. So, I'll go back to my face. Let's go back to my face. The worries that I have are all kind of related. I always have a significant. Just so you know, I'm reading from my notebook. This is the notebook that I write in pretty much every day for various reasons. I find it really helpful, and I recommend it if you find that it is hard to focus on things, or you forget stuff, or you don't really know. You don't really get a chance to analyze things or review things, or it's hard to think about things in retrospect. I advise having a notebook because it's super great. Anyway, what was I saying before I rudely interrupted myself? TikTok. I was talking about. Wow, my brain just stopped. So I shouldn't interrupt yourself. Yes, the 3 things. Right. So I don't feel, or I always worry that I'm going to forget things. I do not like my memory. It is not as in-depth as it feels like it ought to be. I've learnt a lot of things, but I can only say I've learnt them if I can talk about them afterwards, right? So I worry about my knowledge retention of all the things that I'm doing, because I'm doing a lot of things, which means I'm not focusing 100% on all of them, which I know isn't great sometimes, but I kind of have accepted because I like to do all these things. But to do that, or to make that worth doing, I still have to remember all those things. So that's an issue. We still have an issue of knowledge retention. 2 is I worry about my deeper understanding of these things. Again, because I'm spreading myself quite thinly across things. I'm doing art, music, programming every week. I'm also doing some game design stuff, all that stuff. There's a lot of scope for not going in depth because there's not enough time, because you're spreading yourself over a lot of things, which is fine. It doesn't need to be like, I don't need a PhD in all these things, but I do want to be able to have meaningful conversations about them. I do want to make sensible decisions off of intuition based on the knowledge I have. So deeper understanding is an issue as well. And there's also that kind of applies to the vlog as well. There's for me, the vlogs lack a little bit of depth that I would like to have in them, and I'll talk a bit about that in a second. Right, and then the last one. Sorry, I'm going to refer to my notes because of my memory. The last one is keeping the things that I'm doing aligned with my actual goals. At the start, before I did the vlog, I spent some time working out my goals for the year, and I broke it into where I wanted to be at different parts, and March was one of the goals. I'm happy to say that I hit all my goals for March, which was great. That's good. But there's a worry that you'll just keep picking up tasks, raking them into your purview, and you'll wake up one day and realize you aren't doing anything that you actually intended to do, because at the time there's a bunch of stuff that seemed important, but you forgot that you were supposed to be doing all this stuff for your actual goal, which I've done plenty of times in my life. Every year I'll do something where I'm like, this is the aim, this is what I'm trying to do, and instead of doing stuff to go directly towards that, what I'll do is I'll meander that way. I'll go, to do this I need to learn all of these things, and I'll just go that way, and then 6 months later I've made like this much progress to my actual goal, because I've been worried about doing all the things that get me there. You could argue I'm kind of doing that here. I've got a lot of things which are building up basic skills, but I'm pretty happy with what those are, and they build to something in the plan. And the things that I'm doing still maintain that plan. So actually having a review stage has removed number 3. Three. Yeah. So I only have two main worries. And so that's knowledge retention and depth of understanding. So and depth of explaining. So I want these videos to be more like this, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I like having this is the first, right, where I'm going through a list of things to talk about in the vlog, rather than just pointing at the screen, coming back to you and just saying what I've done and what I'm doing. I feel like there's more depth in this. It's more of a discussion, and I think I'm liking it. We'll see. I'll probably do something a little bit more structured like this for a while and see if I like it. So that's that part. I think I've done my review. So like I told you, the good things and the bad things. It's kind of a retrospective. In software development, you ought to do things called retrospectives. In everything you should be doing retrospectives, but in software development we call them retrospectives, where you look at the last block of work, you see what went well, what didn't go well, and what you can improve, what you'd like to keep doing from what went well, so on and so forth. It's a good way for teams to come together and express their opinions about things which may not be apparent from just the day-to-day work, and it's good for you as an individual to look at what it is that you are doing and making sure that it aligns with what you actually want to get done. So yeah, this is that. I'm happy with how I'm going. The last month has been, or my last 2 months have been very successful, even with the extra overtime, and I have to be happy with that. The problems are knowledge retention not problems, but the things that I'm worried about. I actually think a lot of this went really well. The amount of overtime, or not even the amount, the structure of the overtime was not great. There's other outside things like I'm signed up for a marathon in October and I'm not, or I wasn't. If I kept going like this, I wouldn't be ready for it. So I started doing exercise and eating properly again, which is all stuff I meant to do, but it's about time I actually did it. So that started again, and so that's the breadth of it. But the main things are the depth of knowledge and the knowledge retention. So if we flip back to the screen, next week's goals are going to be different to usual. I'm not going to do a bunch of my weeklies. I am going to keep what I have. I'll do my usual, move this along, shall I? Since I'm recording it now. I'm going to keep a lot of this stuff in, or the stuff that's remaining in, because I really want to do this OpenGL thing. I really want to get through this composition stuff. But this week is going to be revision week, like old school university. So I'm going to revise all the stuff that I've been putting in my personal wiki. I did a computer science course at the start, or I finished a computer science course at the start of the year from MIT's open courses. Very good. You should use that if you are interested in any of the courses they have on there. They're totally free. It's really interesting. So I'm going to revise all the stuff that I wrote about that. I'm going to revise all the stuff I've learned game composition and music theory up to this point in the course that I'm doing. I'm going to revise the game architecture notes, take some notes on the last 30 pages that I did. I'm going to revise the C# stuff I did a couple weeks ago. So then I will make sure that I'm retreading all those steps. What I'll do is I'll probably go through the notes and write more notes in handwritten, to make sure that I'm activating the right parts of my brain that do that. So that's going to happen. This month in review vlog post, I wrote that in the middle of the week. I was going to do another vlog, but I thought this kind of is this, and this is why it's going a little bit long. So I'll call that good, I think. Obviously, we got to record vlog number 7 and post it. I am going to do a more considered approach to what my vlog could be. I think it might benefit from more structure, from some additional aesthetics. Maybe I'll start using my music as a before and end just for copyright things, so I don't have to worry about it. Maybe I'll add a graphic, or I don't know, maybe I'll start recording things during the week and posting time lapses. That's something that I quite enjoy in other people's vlogs, so that might be a good way to go. So I'm going to do that. But I think everything else, I'll have a bunch of Figment Arc things to work through. Everything else I'm going to leave. I'm just going to focus on revision. Maybe if I get to the end of revision, I'll do practice, like deliberate practice, not using tutorials, but just forcing myself to review the modeling things that I've done without looking at the tutorial, just looking at my notes to see if I can do it. I'll look at rigging something, maybe. That's a lot of stuff, so I probably won't get to the end of all of that, but it would be nice to do things to practice the skills that I already have or should have from the work that I've done, to make sure that I actually do have those skills. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Then next week we'll go back into the weeklies, make sure that I don't lose pace with that stuff, because I think those are good things to do, but it's good to take a step back too. So I think that's going to be it for this week. I didn't have much to show you, I'm afraid, in terms of cool stuff, but it's important. It feels like an important vlog to me, where I take a step and look at what it is that I'm trying to do, make sure it aligns with both my standards and where I'm trying to get to. So hope you enjoyed this. I'm Clear Blue Skies. Find me on Twitter at, what am I on? It's in the description. I should fix that kind of stuff up. See, that's an improvement thing. Find me on Twitter. Find me on Instagram. I'm in those places. SoundCloud as well. That's it. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye.